All right, thank you guys. Welcome to our NBA video here today for Thursday, May 27th. My name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you want to see which one of these YouTube picks I'm actually betting on personally here today, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. Now guys, we've gone 6-3 in our last 9 premium sports picks on my Patreon website over the past couple of days. We're also 2-0 in our last couple of NBA tier package picks on that Patreon page as well. And the good news is this: we have another NBA tier package pick going off here this evening. We currently have over 1,225 members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that page is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that, let's go ahead and hop into some NBA playoff action. We're going to start with the Bucks taking on the Heat, 7:30 East. The Milwaukee Bucks are -1.5, totals 226. Now, Milwaukee's coming fresh off a 34-point massacre of Miami in Game 2. They held the Heat to just 98 total points in that contest. Matter of fact, the Bucks have really shut down the entire league defensively. The Bucks are in the top 5 in the NBA in defensive field goal percentage. That in mind, though, this high-powered offensive attack of the Bucks, it puts them leaps and bounds ahead of the other teams in the Eastern Conference playoff bracket. The Bucks currently lead the NBA in scoring on average per contest. Over 120 points a game they're averaging through the regular season and playoffs. The Bucks have also dominated the boards offensively as well. They rank first in the association in offensive rebounding. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's averaging 15.5 boards per contest through 2 playoff games, 28.5 points a night, and 3 steals for the Greek Freak. Meanwhile, Chris Middleton's averaging 22 a game in this series himself. 4 rebounds, 4.5 assists for Middleton. Now, the forward is also making 50% of his three-pointers through 2 playoff games as well. Milwaukee's currently leading the NBA in third quarter scoring. They really tend to pour it on coming out of halftime. They're taking on a Miami team who clearly doesn't have enough firepower to stay competitive in a track meet. Certainly, they were not built for a track meet. They're in the bottom 10 in scoring on average per game, bottom 3 in offensive rebounding. Miami averages just 107 points a night, and they're dead last in the NBA in fourth quarter scoring. Now, total-wise, Miami's gone 20-16 to the over at the American Airlines Arena, 70% to the over in their last 10 ball games. Meanwhile, the Bucks are 6-3 to the over in their last 9 themselves, 42-32 to the over for the entire season. I'm going to lean toward the Milwaukee Bucks -1.5 in the over 226. Next game, Suns-Lakers, 10 p.m. Eastern tip-off. The LA Lakers are -7, totals 210.5. But as good as the Lakers looked in Game 2, I'm not so sure it warrants a 7-point lay in this spot here. Los Angeles has failed to cover the number in 5 out of their last 7 ball games, and they've been pretty bad covering the number at home this year. Out of the Lakers' 37 home games, they successfully covered the point spread just 14 times, and that's good for only 37% in that category. The Lakers have really struggled offensively this season as well. They average only 109 points per night, and they're in the bottom 5 in third quarter scoring. Now, equally as bad, the Lakers are also in the bottom 5 in fourth quarter scoring as well. They're taking on a Suns team who's been excellent on the road this season, 24-12 straight up when they travel, top 10 in road scoring. Devin Booker's averaging 32.5 points a night in this series, 4 rebounds, 5.5 assists through 2 games with Los Angeles. Meanwhile, DeAndre Ayton's also averaging 21.5 points a game in this series himself, along with 13 boards. Now, this Phoenix roster leads the NBA in shooting from the stripe on the road. They're also in the top 3 in offensive field goal percentage. Now, total-wise, the Suns have gone 8-2 to the over in their last 10, 43-31 to the over for the entire season. Meanwhile, the Lakers have seen 5 out of their last 9 get over the line themselves, throwing out the Golden State game. I'm going to lean toward the Phoenix Suns +7 and the over 210.5. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Nuggets versus the Blazers. 10:30 p.m. Eastern start time. The Portland Trailblazers are -4, totals 227.5. But despite an impressive performance in Game 1, the Blazers' Achilles heel certainly let them down in Game 2. The Blazers allowed 128 points in Game 2, and they actually find themselves in the bottom 10 in the entire NBA in points allowed per contest. These guys have really struggled defensively this year. The Blazers have also struggled to cover the number at the Moda Center this year. Portland successfully covered the point spread in just 15 out of 36 home games, and they're currently in the bottom 10 in fourth quarter points allowed at home. They're taking on a Nuggets team who's been pretty solid on the road this season. They've gone 22-14 straight up when they travel. And in addition to averaging nearly 116 points a game throughout the entire season, the Nuggets are in the top 3 in the association in offensive field goal percentage on the road. Nikola Jokic is averaging 36 points a game in the series, 12 boards, 3 assists for the Joker. Meanwhile, Michael Porter Jr. is averaging 21.5 points per contest in this series himself, along with 6 rebounds. The Nuggets are in the top 10 in shooting the 3 ball on the road, and when it comes to the scoring in this one, Denver saw their last 3 straight all get over the line. Denver also went 6-2 to the over in their last 8, along with going 42-32 to the over for the entire season. Meanwhile, the Blazers saw 4 out of their last 6 get over the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Denver Nuggets +4 and the over 227.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap, powered to you by my Patreon website. I like Milwaukee -1.5 over 226. Phoenix Suns +7 over 210 and a hook. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 6-3 in our last 9 premium sports picks on my Patreon website. We're also 2-0 in our last 2 NBA tier package picks on that very same Patreon page as well. I'm going to lean toward the Denver Nuggets +4 and the over 227.5. And once again, guys, if you found yourself really enjoying this video here today, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. And if you're new here today or this week, please feel free to welcome yourself to the family by hitting that subscribe button as well. I'd greatly appreciate if you did both of those things. Certainly helps out the channel. And once again, I really appreciate all the likes, all the comments, and all the subscribes. So thank you very much, guys. And with that, we're going to jump into some shout outs to our top 10 YouTube commenters over the past couple of days or so. Shout out to RCNYC. Shout out to Corey Jones, Isaiah Tanner, Nero Neathsreg. Shout out to South Plainfield Striker, Darnell Huff, Trayvon Jackson, Anna B. And last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my good friend, Gabrielle Jasmine. That is such a pretty name. I really I like that name. Now, I'm married, so don't get the wrong idea, but very pretty name, Gabrielle Jasmine. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys end up getting a package here today on Patreon, just keep in mind, Patreon's going to bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you're on the fence and you're thinking about getting a package, but you're kind of like, penny pinching a little bit, probably your best value is to wait until June 1st to get your max value. But if you feel like you need to get in the action right away, and I highly recommend it because we've been doing pretty good in our NBA tier package pick. But once again, just a forewarning, Patreon bills you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website. at patreon.com/BrockPage.